Several new editing workflows, functions, and customizable key commands have been added in Cubase 12. Most of these are available in the Pro, Artist, and Elements versions of Cubase, with the exception of one Pro-only update, which I'll save for the end of this video. The first two features I'll show you allow you to trim the heads or tails of events using two new editing functions, which can be assigned to custom shortcuts. So first, I'll just show you these functions. I'll select all three of these events, go up to Edit, go down to Range, and there's two new edit functions here, Cut Head and Cut Tail. Cut Head will cut or trim the beginning of the event to the cursor, and if I place the cursor over here, I can also use the Cut Tail function. Now, on their own, these aren't necessarily any faster than other trimming functions, but these do become really good time savers if you assign custom key commands. To do this, I'll go up to Edit, and then I'll go down to Key Commands. In the Key Commands dialog, I'll search for Cut Head, and there it is. And in this box, I can type in any keyboard shortcut and see if it's available. I'm going to use the left bracket for Cut Head, so I'll select left bracket and then click Assign. And then here's Cut Tail. For this, I'm going to assign the right bracket. I'll just click Assign, and now I've added custom shortcuts for both of these key commands. So now what I can do is set the cursor, drag over these, and press left bracket to cut the head, and likewise, I can set the cursor over here and press the right bracket to cut the tail. Another edit function that I like to assign a custom key command for is Crop. I'll search up Crop, and here's Crop Range. There's currently no keyboard shortcut assigned to this, so I'll make this the / key, which is right next to the left and right brackets. So with this, I can use the range selection tool to drag over a range and then press that key command, and it trims the heads and tails of all three of these events with a single key press. Cubase 12 also has new nudge grid options that let you edit independently from the project grid. First, I need to show my nudge options, so click here and then make sure that nudge is selected. Now, by default, this will link your nudge values to the project grid settings, but you can now choose your nudge options to be independent of the grid. So I'll select seconds, and I'll go with 100 milliseconds for my nudge value. Now, to nudge events, it's as simple as selecting an event and pressing Command left or right to nudge that left or right, independent of the grid. And you can use Control left or right on a PC. There are also new key commands for slip editing. To access these, I'll search up slip in the key commands. And there's two functions here, slip event content left and slip event content right. Again, these do not have assigned key commands at the moment, so I'm going to set these to Control 1 on the number pad for slip event contents left, and Control number pad 2 to slip event contents right. So now if I select an event and press Control 1 on the number pad, it slips the event left, Control number pad 2 slips the events to the right. There's also a new editing function to move the event end to the cursor position. In previous versions of Cubase, you could move an event to the cursor just by clicking on it and pressing Command L. This will move the start of the event to the cursor position. However, when you have riser or build-up effects that need to land at a certain point in the arrangement, it's helpful to be able to align the end of an event to the cursor. Well, there's a new key command for this, and you can set a custom shortcut for this as well. In my key commands, I'll just search up Move Event Ends. And here it is, Move Event Ends to Cursor. As I mentioned before, the shortcut to move the event start to the cursor was Command L. So for this, I'm going to use the next available key to the right of L, which is the semicolon. So the shortcut for this will be Command semicolon. So now I could turn on Grid Snap and then set the cursor maybe to measure 10 here, select this event, and press Command semicolon to move the event end to the cursor. Fades have also been improved in Cubase 12. If you go up to Audio and then go down to Fades, there's an entire menu of different fade functions. I can apply a standard fade in, or I can set the cursor to where I want the end of the fade in to go, select both of these events, and then I can use the fade function fade in to cursor, and this will create a fade in to the cursor location. Likewise, I can set the cursor to the end here, and then use the opposite function, which is fade out from cursor. And there's a plethora of other fade key commands in here that you can assign custom shortcuts to. One new fade function that comes with a pre-assigned key command is the ability to resize fades as you trim. Normally, if I were to trim in or trim out the start point of this event, the fade stays exactly the same. However, if I hold Option Command or Control Alt on a PC and drag in or out, you'll see that the fade is actually resized. One last update to fades that's only in the Pro version is the Crossfade editor has been updated with several new advanced features. Now, when you double-click on a crossfade, this will bring up a brand new advanced crossfade editor with several new features. You can get in here and you can really customize the shape and length and position of your crossfades. Now, if you don't like all of these advanced features, you can actually turn this off just by going up to Cubase, Preferences, and under the Editing Audio Preferences, you can switch back to the simple crossfade editor if you prefer. So those are some of the new editing workflows and customizable shortcuts in Cubase 12.